Money, money, cash goes. 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 Money, cash goes.
This is Money Cash Goes, where we seek out expert advice and strategies on how to make money and spend cash to accomplish our goals. I am Lemont Walker with Baxbill Studios, and today we have a great one. You better get your notepads ready. We're talking about doing business with the federal government and federal contracting. We have Jason White. Let me read something real quick for you guys. What do the Department of Defense, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Veteran Affairs, and the Department of Interior all have in common? Each one of these United States governing bodies has an ongoing relationship with and has awarded one or several government contracts to Jason White, our speaker today. Jason started his business in 2008. He didn't reap the dividends, of his work until 2011. It took 3 years to get his first contract because in the beginning, all he had was a PhD, a public high school diploma, an interest, and an ethic. Without any guidance or help, he used that formula, to become the mentor he thought that he needed. Now, he is the conduit between government entities, their representatives, and you. Before he began his journey, he had never worked for the federal government and had no prior knowledge of federal government's internal protocol. Yet he secured over 35 active government contracts. Wow. More than 30 of which are ongoing for at least the next 4 years. And the number continues to grow. Given his extensive experience, Jason has the skill sets, relationships, rapport, and resume to be a mentor for others who seek to win government contracts. Jason White, my brother, how are you doing today?
My brother, I'm good, man. I'm good. Thankful, and blessed, man, to be here, man. Thanks for having.
Man, it's amazing to be on the air with you right now. Before we get into everything, why don't you go ahead and explain to us, give us some background about yourself, where you're from, your PhD, and all those good things. And congratulations, by the way, on those 35 active, man. Give us some of that information about yourself.
Man, that info. Oh, I gotta update that. I'm at 39 now, my brother. I'm at 39 total. So appreciate it, man. So yeah, I mean, I'm from Norfolk, Virginia, a town in Virginia, in Southern Virginia, and that's all I had. Right, was that PhD, that public high school diploma. I just knew this. I never, when I was graduating high school, I don't have a deep story. You know how most people got a deep story. Oh, I was homeless. I wasn't that. I was just a lazy kid. Like, just real talk. I was just a lazy kid. I thought sports was my ticket. I was like, man, I'm gonna be a hoop star. I got my hoop dreams. I play ball on every court. I'm playing ball in high school. I was a hoop dreams guy. When that wasn't panning out, I didn't know what I was gonna do after high school. Fast forward, I did go to college. I went to Norfolk State, but man, that was like not really going to school. I was really there just kicking it in the student union. I definitely wasn't. I mean, I'm a 17-year-old kid in college. Now I got quote unquote access to 22, 23-year-old women. I was having a ball in college. I wasn't doing nothing in terms of learning. I can tell you that. But I was a hustler in school. One of the things that I did real quick was I knew that everybody used to try to get to school early to get some of the best parking spots. So I'm like, all right, I ain't really going to school. I trying to make some money because all my friends and stuff, they had good shoes, Jordans and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, if I get to school early and I lock down 3 parking spots, when people really want these spots, they're gonna pay for them. So what I used to do was I used to get to school. I used to get to campus at like 8:30. Most of the time the classes start around 9 o'clock. So I used to get to school at 8:30, lock down 3 spots. One with my car is one spot, and then I put a cone in front of my car and a cone in the back of my car, and I would sell my parking spots for $10. So I'm making $30 a day every time that I would go to school. So I always had the mentality like I need to sell a product or a service. I always had that type of mentality, not having foreshadow to my future with the federal government. But I didn't do good in school, so now I'm working a job at the gas station, and one of my homeboys basically just was like, "Look, man, I'm going to get a contract with the federal government doing trucking." And I was like, "Well, what's a federal contract?" Like I had no clue what that was. Next thing you know, my guy went to jail. He went to prison. He went to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. So now he locked up. I have no guidance. I don't know where to turn. So I tried to figure it out and piece things together with YouTube University, and that's one of the reasons why it took me 3 years to get my first one, because I had to put the pieces to the puzzle by myself. But when I got that first one, it only took me one. I'm the person. If you show me something one time, I got it. And then next thing you know, hand over fist, I just keep wash, rinse, and repeating the process, and now I'm here.
Man, I love that right there. Hey, I'm one of those people that say, if you show me how to make a dollar, or I figure out how to make a dollar, I'm good from there.
There it is, yes sir.
Right, you take it to the next level now. So when you left college and you said you was doing that in between that happened with your brother, I mean not your brother, but your buddy. So that's what introduced you to government contracting. You went to YouTube and things like that, and it took you 3 years to get your first one. What were you doing while you were on that journey to those 3 years to getting your first contract? And what was your mindset and going? What kept you pursuing it when you weren't getting them?
So the mindset was no. Well, number one, let me tell you this: I was stressing. That's one of that's the thing. First thing I was doing, I was stressing out because it just wasn't happening for me. Even back then in 2008, we were a microwave society back then. So I wanted everything right now, especially when your back is against the wall, right? When you need money, you need things to happen for you, not today, but you need things to happen for you yesterday. So I was stressing out. I was like, man, I'm looking at all these people on YouTube. They saying do this, do this, do this, and I'm doing it and nothing happening. So in the meantime, between time, man, cause I quit the job at the gas station because I'm like, I need to go all in. I need to be 100% in this thing to figure it out. Cause I hate reading. I'm not a reader. But when you're looking at some of this government jargon, you got to cipher your way through it to see what they're actually talking about. So one jobs where you go that day and you work your 8 hours and you get paid that day. I was doing stuff like that to not be away from my computer so long, and I had a big old computer, right, one of the big joints. I think my screen was still kind of green. I definitely didn't have no laptop. I definitely was on dial-up service too. It was a lot going on back then, man. It was a lot going wrong. But one of the things that kept me going, I was close. I kept noticing that every proposal that I put in that I didn't win, I kept getting closer and closer because the contract specialist would talk to me. They would say, look, your pricing was off, but your documentation was good. Or then they'll come to me and say something like, your timing was bad, but all your documents were spot on. So I was like, man, I'm getting close. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. So that's one of the things that kept me going through those 3 years, because each proposal that I put in, I kept getting better and better and better. And then next thing you know, I quote unquote hit the jackpot. That first contract, by the way, was $125 a month to me. But that was the best 125 I've ever made in my life because I didn't do the work for it. Right? I did nothing for it except for find a solicitation and put in a proposal. And I subcontracted that awarded contract right out, and I was getting $125 for it, and that really kickstarted everything.
Man, that's an amazing story. That's a beautiful story, especially for people that want to give up. You said you waited 3 years. It's people that give up on a contract or any type of business that they do. That if they're not getting in about a couple months or seeing a return in a couple months, they on to the next thing. So, man, I
Hmm.
commend you for continue to do that, and I'm happy you did because brother, you giving out some great information right now, and what you doing. We'll get to that a little later on. What you do with that. So you're in it. You got your first contract. How did you take it from 125 a month on your first contract to being at 39 now active government contracts? Give us something, give us some tips, and not just tips and strategy, but tell us what took you from there to where you are now.
Yeah, man. See, a lot of times, and I tell my students this a lot of times, or I go over this with them. You hear, oh, I'm nervous to submit. I just don't know if I have everything right. You're not going to have everything right. You can't be nervous. Here's the reason why you shouldn't be nervous. And the reason why I wasn't nervous is just keep going through my numbers and putting in proposals. The first things first, it's not a financial strength. To put in a proposal is free. So I'm like, all right, man. Like, if I lose, it's not hurting me financially. I could see if every proposal I got to pay $200 for it. No, you put in a proposal, it's free. So you just keep doing it. You keep getting better. You keep doing it. You keep getting better. After I won that first one, I documented my process. I said, okay, let me review exactly what I did to win this contract. Let me review every single thing that I did and let me document it. Let me write it down. And now I'm going to follow it and see if I can do it again. And that's what I did. And now, next thing you know, the contracts that I'm going after are bigger in value because the process is still the same, right? I wash, rinse, repeat. But now I'm not nervous or scared to go after the bigger dollar value contracts because number one, I'm not doing the work. But guess what? I'm getting better at finding subcontractors that can do this high dollar, this high dollar work. And next thing you know, right, the government starts to call me. When you win so many contracts, after a while, you start to get sole source. It's called sole sourcing, and they will start to call you. That's what you want to get it to. But you can't get there if you're nervous and worried about if you got everything correct and worried about losing. It's 96,000 federal contracting opportunities, not a month, a day. Every single day, it's around 96,000 contract opportunities. You think I'm scared to put in 10 or 15 and I might be confident in 5? Because what happens is you fail fast, you fail forward, and you learn. But that's a mindset piece, right? I could care less. Anytime I talk to anybody, I never talk about, oh, you're going to win so many contracts. You're going to be awarded. So I don't talk about that. I talk about mindset and I talk about the process. Because if you get those two things together, everything else you're going to knock. The results have to come. Just like when you go to the gym every single day and you try to work on your abs. Well, after a week, you might have 2 abs, right? You might got 2 abs. But if you keep going with the same process, guess what's going to happen? That 6-pack has no choice but to come. It's the same thing. So I go over mindset and process more over than results. And that's what I did. I just fixed my mindset and I just kept going over the process. After that first contract that I won, for that 125, I won another contract 2 months later. And then that started to change my life financially because that one gave me $7,300 a month for the next 5 years. And then obviously it's wash, rinse, repeat after that.
Nice. So when you talk about going through the process and things like that, explain to us what you mean by going through the process of winning a contract and executing the contract with also, running up the volume of bids you're putting in. Because a lot of people are probably like, man, I can't do 39 contracts or my company can't do 39 jobs. Can you let us know what you mean about, getting a contract and what you can do, even if it's not in your sector?
Good question, man. So the mindset is this. It's not about what I can do. The mindset is about what can I manage? Can I manage this contract and or can I manage the company that's going to be doing the work on this contract? That has to be the mindset. If you bottle yourself down and say, what can I do? What can my company do? You put yourself in the box because typically most small businesses can't do much but whatever they've been doing, right? They've been doing construction. They've been doing, I don't know, digital content. They've been doing podcasts. Whatever they've been doing, they're going to stay in that lane. But when you start to expand your mind and think differently, have a paradigm shift, okay, it's not about what I can do. It's about what I can manage. Can I manage the company doing this? And or can I manage the contract? 9 times out of 10, that's yes, because everybody's a project manager. I don't care who you are. Everybody's a project manager. Every time you take your car to the auto mechanic, guess what you do? You project manage that auto mechanic because you took your car in there to go get an oil change. My man come back out there and say, you need a transmission. You need front brakes. You need back brakes. You need this, that. You need all the above. Guess what you tell him go back in there and do? Hey, I'm just here to get an oil change. I get all that stuff. I get all that other stuff later. You project manage somebody that's been doing auto mechanic work for the next 15 years. It's no different. You see a solicitation, you understand what the scope of work is, not for you to really understand it, but for you to articulate it to a subcontractor that's been doing that work, for instance, like lawn care. So you speak to them about what needs to be done. You speak to the lawn care person, lawn care company. Hey, it needs to be, this is what needs to be done. I need a quote. Can you provide me a quote? Do you have the bandwidth to do this? They either say yes or no. And when they say yes, they provide you a quote. When you get the quote, you put the money on top of that quote. Then you send that proposal up to the government along with whatever documents are required for that particular solicitation. It's really no more difficult than how I just explained it. Obviously, there's some nuances in between in terms of understanding what the documents looks like and understanding how to do your pricing properly. But once those things are down, you just continue to do that process over and over again and not worrying about the fact that you're not doing the work because somebody else is. And that's the beauty of it because the federal government allows us to subcontract work out.
Wow. So you telling me I come in and say, hey, Jason, man, my name is Lemont. I'm looking to make some extra ends. I got a team of people. We're podcasting right now, or we're in real estate. I got a couple people that's looking at computers, and I heard you talking about looking at bids on a computer. You telling me I can go bid on some lawn care work?
All day.
It's a beautiful thing.
all day long. The thing is, remember, it's 96 opportunities. And anybody can fact check me. Just go to beta.sam.gov. Go to beta.sam.gov. Anybody can fact check me. And once you go to beta.sam.gov, you're going to see a box that says all award data. You click on that box and then you drop down to contract opportunities. And then you look at that number at the top. It's going to be around 96, between 92 to 96,000. So there are not enough companies to go around to handle all these solicitations. So what tends to happen is some of the same companies, i.e. mine, keep getting awarded over and over and over again, and other people can't figure out why they can't get a contract because they stuck in their own lane. You have to get out of your own lane to jump back in your own lane. And here's what I mean by that. Once you get awarded a contract, I don't care what the industry is or what the job is, you're going to end up having a voice to the federal government. Why? Because now you've been awarded. So now you got the voice, you got the ear, you got a quote unquote past performance. They see you now. Once they see you, now you can start going to different departments or the same department that has awarded your first contract and say, hey, listen, I know I got this contract for wig making, but I'm actually into consulting. The next time you have a consulting solicitation, please keep my company in mind. This is what we actually do. And then guess what? You got 2 feet in the door and not just one. But a lot of people don't understand that process and that concept. But I teach all my students that exact same concept.
This is Money Cash Goes, where we seek out expert advice and strategies on how to make money and spend cash to accomplish our goals. And we have Jason White in here right now giving us jewels on how to crack the code in federal contracting. So, if you're listening, this podcast is being recorded and will be on all major outlets. But if you're in the room right now, we are on Clubhouse. You might as well get people, ping them in here right now because he's dropping straight jewels. And if you're not taking notes, get your pen and paper together. Now, when you're talking about managing people and managing other businesses, I know you have people that you work with. What are some of the things that you look for in companies when you're looking to subcontract out work? So that you'll get the job done and you'll be able to manage them.
That's a good question, man, because you can look for a whole bunch of things. That means nothing, though. All right. And here's what I mean by that. When I was going for jobs and I was putting down my resume, guess what I was putting down? Experience that I didn't actually have. I'm going to be real with you, because on paper, I look good enough to get in the interview. And now I'm going to knock them down with my pizzazz, my charisma, with my energy and my spunk, right? So when I'm looking at companies in terms of their website, in terms of what they've done, I don't really go by that. I get these companies on the phone, and you can't BS. Everybody got a BS radar. I don't care who you are. I don't care what they're talking about. Everybody has a BS meter, and you can tell when somebody is trying to BS you. You just gotta listen. If you do more listening than talking, you'll figure out when somebody's trying to BS you. So when I'm calling these subcontractors from my best friend Google, because people ask me all the time, how you find your subcontractors? Google. I'll Google them, call them up, say, hey, listen, Lemont, I see that you do, lawn care services out in Mississippi. I got a contract that I need you to send me a quote for. Can you do this work? If you can't explain, or if you start hemming and hawing and going through, all your accolades, and I ain't even asked you that, I'm thinking like, all right, man, this guy or this woman is a whole bunch of fluff. So all I merely do, man, time will tell. So the process is this: we call 2 or 3 subcontractors. Okay, so we don't just call one; we call 2 and 3, and we pin their quotes against each other because that's what the government does to us. So when I send Lemont LLC services out there, and he's not performing properly because you know he shot me a whole bunch of BS, and I believed it, and I let him be my subcontractor on this contract, but this dude got one lawnmower and one person. He told me he got 15 lawnmowers and he got a whole staff of 20 people, but he don't have that. He only got one, and we figured that out. All I do is I replace Lemont LLC with the other two with one of the other 2 companies that I previously called, and now I keep my contract rolling. So there's not 100% way to actually vet somebody because anybody can tell you anything over the phone. When you'll know that they're serious by understanding their quote, understanding their response time to you. When you send them an email, how long does it take for them to get back to you? Are they knowledgeable about what you're saying with the scope of work? Because remember, you're going to review the scope of work with these companies. Are they knowledgeable? Are they asking you questions that they actually should know? All that stuff plays into part on who you're going to select, obviously with the price as well, but who you're going to select to help you get the contract fulfilled.
And so, just like your company can bid on other bids, can anybody get into government contracting? Because I know you had a little bit of spill on that because people were asking, can felons get into contracts or get awarded contract by the government? Is that possible?
Yeah, yes, sir, 100%. And here's why: because the federal government doesn't do business, and I'm doing air quotes so everybody can see me, but the federal government doesn't do business with individuals. They do business with companies. So once that convicted felon or that person with that sketchy past or that person with that terrible credit, once that person creates that LLC, they're no longer a person in the federal government eyes. They're now a company. And now the federal government is doing business with that company. As long as that company is in with good standings, or the LLC is within good standings of that state, and they've done everything on their paperwork that needs to be done in terms of the EIN, their DUNS number, and everything else is up to date. Man, that's why I talk to people that have, felonies and stuff like that because it's possible.
Again, if you're listening right now, something always simple. It always comes back to creating you an LLC. Create you an LLC, and you can. There's multiple things you can do in your life, in your business, period. And when you do create that LLC, when you get that EIN, you treat it I just told somebody this last night. Treat it like your baby, man. Treat your business just like you treat your own life with your social security number. Treat your business the same way and your entity.
Yes, sir.
So now, like you said, you're managing contracts, you're managing people, you're subcontracting. You had 39 active. Can you tell us what a day-to-day is for you? You're a federal government. You could tell us on the level right now at 39. You could tell us at the level before you had one, and you can tell us in between when you're really getting into it, learning it, and know what you're doing. Can you tell us what the day-to-day is of a federal contractor? What does that look like?
Yeah, man. So today I have a team or a group of individuals that help manage, because what you want to do is, remember, it's 2 things that you want to quickly do. You want to quickly get it to the point where you're not bidding on contracts anymore and you're getting sole source. And then also you want to get it to the point where you're hands off even more than what your business model says to be hands off. So now when it's time to invoice, your team is doing that. When it's time to put out fires, your team is doing that. They're just notifying you. When it's time to anything it's time to do, when it's time to renew those contracts or review a new one, your team is doing it because you taught them. You got standard operating procedures in place, and now your business is rolling whether you're in it or not. And that's what you want to get it to. When I was building the company, when I was building it to, 10 contracts, 12 contracts, 5 contracts, my day to day was every day I went to my workstation, which is beta.sam.gov, every single day because I want to have a pipeline. That's what I'm doing every single day. The contracts that you have, they're going to manage themselves. Now, a lot of people don't realize that, but the contracts that you actually get awarded, they manage themselves. Here's why. When something go wrong at that site, when something go wrong at that federal facility, you going to know about it. You don't got to check on it. The government going to say, hey, Jason, your people out here tearing up. Your people out here jacking up everything in sight. You need to get a hold of it. And then you start to do things there. You can't. A lot of people think that you can get out in front of certain things, but you can't in terms of when a subcontractor is doing things day to day, and they reporting back to you, hey, everything is good. So what I do is I manage my contracts by letting the point of contact at the facility manage my subcontractor. So now my contracts are running on their own. So every single day, what I'm doing, if it's not invoicing day, right? Because every month you have to send an invoice to the government because the subcontractor has sent the invoice to you. So you got to make sure everybody continues to get paid. The government pays you, you pay the subcontractor. So if it's not invoicing day, every day I'm at my workstation, beta.sam.gov, and I'm filling up my pipeline. I'm looking for more solicitations to submit proposals for and to work. So typically back then I was looking at it maybe around, I take like 40 minutes and I gather up 10 solicitations to work for that entire week. So on Mondays, I would look at 10 solicitations for that entire week. Tuesdays, I'm only going to look up maybe like 5. Wednesdays, the same, 5. Thursdays, 5. And now I got my whole board of future solicitations to work. And then I got my other board of ongoing solicitations to work. And now I'm always busy. I'm always progressing. I'm always moving forward. That way I'm not dry. Because one thing, you remember, we're bidding on these contracts. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some, but you got to continuously put in proposals. And that's one thing I like about the federal government, because there's no such thing as quote unquote proposal writing. You just got to submit the documents via whatever they ask. That's how you're able to move at a high pace on the federal level.
So getting started and when you started out, would you say that when you were bidding on projects and when you started winning them or getting awarded them, were you getting more on the service side or supplying products on that side? Which one was, more as far as someone starting getting into?
Man, I see why you got the Money Cash Gold podcast, man. You asked some phenomenal questions. So check this out. Here you go. So in the very, very beginning, I teach all my students, you want to go after service-based contracts. You want to lay your foundation with your company with service-based contracts, because those contracts are going to bring you in the residuals, right? They're going to last for 4 years. They're going to last for 5 years. And then possibly they're going to last longer than that because you could get renewed for another 2 years or 3 years. So in the beginning, we're going after any service-based contracts that meet your 2 criteria. Can I manage this contract, and or can I manage the company doing this contract? Next, after you've won 2 or 3, or maybe even 1 in my case, service-based contract, now you can go after the product-based contracts, or the quote-unquote one-hitter quitters, I like to call it. Because typically, if you're providing a product to the government is going to pay for that product once they get it. But how are they going to get it? You, as the middle person, typically will have to pay up front the manufacturers to start shipping that product to the federal government. And most people aren't in position to do that, right? They're not in position to pay for anything up front. That's why when you hear people that talk about federal government contracting, you hear them say, "Oh, I got financing through this company. I did financing through that." Well, what's the point in that? You don't have to start out getting financing for anything. You can be your own bank. You just got to wait your time. Get those service-based contracts in. And then next thing you know, when you reach out to a manufacturer, guess what? Your confidence is at a high level. Your verbiage is good. You know how to speak to the manufacturer to get them to start shipping out product with just your award letter as collateral and not as getting loans and money. If you don't got to do that, I cringe when people say, "Oh well, I got this loan and I went through this source of funding to get this product." Why? You wasting time, you wasting money. Take your time, get you a couple of contracts under your belt, and watch what starts to happen when these manufacturers vet your company. Because that's what tends to happen. These manufacturers will look up your company and say, "Hey, this company is brand new, they don't know no better," or "This company got tenure with the federal government. Let's do business with them. Their award letter is going to be gold." So I teach all my students off top, all service-based contracts for a while. Then you're gonna go after then you're gonna mix in your product-based contracts after a while.
Amazing, amazing. I can say, man, if you're looking to ask somebody to if you're gonna purchase something for $200,000 and you don't have it, that's a different conversation when you feeling confident, going in,
Exactly.
because they gonna read you when you talking to them like, man, you ain't got no 200,000. What am I talking to you for,
Hmm.
man? You ain't trying to purchase
Exactly.
that. But I will say, man, anybody that's listening right now, hey, if he said ex felons can do it, anyone can do it. So if you a king of middlemaning, this may be the game you want to jump into. Am I right, Jason?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay,
Don't delay. Don't delay.
don't delay. Impact over income. You said that, and you said that changed your life. Can you explain your mindset and what pivoted you to going towards more impact over income? Explain that for us.
Yeah, man. You got to think about it, right? If money comes and goes, you can't take it with you anyway. So it shouldn't the mindset shouldn't be how much money can I make versus how many lives can I impact. If I can impact a few lives and a few financial situations, a few bank accounts, that's more value than money. Then the money will come, because when I was coming up and trying to figure this game out, nobody would teach me. Everybody wanted $1 before they even give me a few nuggets. Everybody wanted, me to come to their seminar before they can even tell me, "Hey, are you still even doing this?" You know what I'm saying? When I was talking to most people, they would say, "I used to. Now I teach," or "I've done it before. Now I will teach you." Well, I come from the school of, look, what have you done for me lately, right? If you did this 2 years ago, the rules have changed. How can I possibly trust what you're saying still is gonna work for me in 2021 during the pandemic? And that's one of the differences with me. I'm still doing it. I won 3 contracts already this month. Well, I won them the first week in March, and I'm poised to win another one next week. So I'm still winning contracts. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it with my students. Sometimes when I know that they're submitting a proposal, I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it with you. So if there are any hiccups, I can walk you through it." And that's how that's how sometimes I'm still winning some of them, but I'm not actively going after them. But you gotta understand, if I can impact the life of anybody that's going through any type of struggles or crisis, or just want to bring some more income in, my my universe will bring the financial gains back to me without me having to beat somebody's head down and saying, "Pay me, pay me, pay me." After a while, right? People value your time, right? So that's why I packaged up a course. So I'm like, look, I'm just one person. I can't be everywhere at every second of every day that people want to pull me this direction and that direction. So that's one of the reasons why I created a course. But if you look at my Instagram, even today, I'm doing Ask Me Anything Friday, where I'm just going over questions that people ask me all the time through my DMs, even on Clubhouse and stuff like that. Because you gotta figure out a way to be impactful in this world. You got people, and one of my things is, you got people depending on you that don't even know that you don't even know. And I keep that in the back of my head. I got people depending on me that I don't even know. So I have to make sure that I'm being impactful and not worrying about the income, because the income is going to come. The universe to take care of me.
Everyone that's listening, whenever you're getting into a new industry or you're looking to learn from someone, you always want to learn from someone that's actively doing it. Period. Especially when you're talking about updates and how you do things and years out from doing it. But what I want to get to now, Jason, I want to get into how you crack the code and tell us about the federal code and that course that you were talking about. Let us know about that and let us know how we can go sign up and get to that.
Yeah, man. So, like I was alluding to, uh, we created the digital course because I felt like, I want to package everything in one space so people can go through that at their own pace, at their own time, and not be worried about, okay, I got a schedule here, and because life happens, right? You get punched in the face. Sometimes you can't make a meeting. Well, the digital course has everything at your leisure when you're ready. 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever the case may be. But I go through A through X in detail. A through X. I never say Z because we want those ongoing residual checks from the federal government, right? So I never say Z, but I go through how to formulate your company. If you don't know how to do that, I go over uh, how to look for and navigate beta.sam.gov, how to look for the right types of solicitations. What are we looking for in these documents? How do we reach out to the contracting specialists? How do we reach out to our subcontractors? How do we get quotes back from the subcontractors? What does my pricing look like? How do I know how much money I'm supposed to put on top of these solicitations? How do I know my subcontractor isn't overpriced, isn't overcharging me? What do I do after I've won an award? How do I maintain and manage these contracts? And then how do I wash, rinse, repeat? I go over all that in great detail. One of the things that I'm still currently doing as well, when you purchase the course, you get a one-on-one session with me. Whenever you're ready, I recommend people to go through the course a little bit and then, reach out to me for your one-on-one at that time, and then that way we can be more intentional with our one-on-one. But you get the one-on-one session with me, and that's absolutely free. If you go to thefederalcode.com, there you'll be able to sign up for the newsletter. There you'll also be able to purchase the course as well. And because I'm on Clubhouse, because I'm on the Money Cash Gold, podcast, doing 20% off up until Monday. If you put in, I'll make the discount code Money Cash Gold Podcast, and they give you a 20% off discount.
Man, look at you, man. Look, see, brother, that's amazing right there. I love to see people working together because the other thing that we do at Money Cash Goes, when we have people come out and tell us ways to go get started and make money, we actually go out and do those things and buy their services, my brother. We will be purchasing that service. I want to get my team with you so we can definitely get that one-on-one, but we're definitely going to go through the course first and make sure we're prepared and ready for you. We definitely, everybody go use that code Money Cash Goals podcast. You putting podcast
Yes,
with an
sir.
S at the end or just a T?
I'm gonna put it after them. I'm gonna put Money Cash Gold Podcast.
Okay, got you. We're going to get that. Make sure you go get that 20% off. We're going to pub that all weekend long. He said until Monday. Make sure you guys go get it. Now, we do know here at Money Cash Goes, we all about getting started right now and what we can do. So, Jason, can you tell someone that's listening or in the future when they do listen and when the recording is put out, how they can get started today in your industry or any other industry that you know, what they can do to go make money today?
Yeah, man. So one of the few things you can do to start the process to make money today, right? Because the federal government game is a long game, and I would never, set anybody up and saying if you do this today, your money is going to be in that bank account today. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that you can do to start your process today is formulate that LLC that you talked about. Register your company into sam.gov. Once you register that company with your EIN and your DUNS number into sam.gov, once you do that, it's going to be a period of processing. So you're waiting to get approved. Once you're approved, your next thing that you're ready to do is start bidding on federal government contracts. Remember the mindset. It's not about what you can do. It's about if you can manage this contract and or can you manage the company that's going to be doing the work on this contract and you off and running. That's it. That's going to start your journey to where that snowball is going to be downhill and you can't stop it even if you try. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm getting my students to as well.
Amazing, man. That's beautiful, man. You've been dropping jewels on us all day. And you gave us a whole bunch of knowledge. You told us about yourself, man. Is there anything else you want to leave to the people before we close it out tonight?
Yeah, man. I just want to thank you again, man, for having me on this podcast, man. Excellent platform. I appreciate everybody's time, whether you're listening live or you're listening on the replay, because that's one thing we can't get back. I don't care what industry you're in, how successful you are. If you aren't doing business with the federal government, everybody should be doing a piece of the a business with the federal government. So I implore you to fact check me, dig in, and get started as soon as you possibly can, and crack the code.
My brother Jason White is cracking the code in federal contracting. He's definitely doing business with the government. Hey, you said you was in sports, and I know you like to work out, man. What sports was you into when you was in school?
I was nice in basketball, nice in football. I was great in tennis. I was also amazing in chess, if you want to call that a sport too.
That's why we learning from you right now, brother. I promise you, man. I cannot wait to get into the course, and I cannot wait to plug into you with you more and your team, man, and integrate ourselves on our two industries together. We are in real estate, and we all about getting people paid, and we all about seeking experts. This is Money Cash Goals, where we seek out expert advice and strategies on how to make money and spend cash to accomplish our goals. Jason White, you came with government contracting. I can tell you right now, I do know people that have won them. So guess what? You already verified, but we're definitely going to go in there and get in that course and win some ourselves and let the people know we used your process to do it, brother. I thank you for your time. I thank you for everyone that's listening. We can stick around a little longer if y'all want to stay in this room and get it going. But hey, I am Lemont. This has been a Backsbill Studios production, and everybody be great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, my brother, man. Let's connect sooner than later and ASAP.
All right, brother. We're going to get up out of here. Everybody be great. Remember, let's all be free for this free up season happily.
Appreciate you, bro.
This is Lemont again with the MCG team. Our specialty is showing people how to make money in real estate with little to no experience or license. If you're interested, email us at solutions@backsbill.com to get started today. We encourage everyone listening to join the MCG team for free business tips and tools by going to moneycashgoals.club. Be sure to subscribe and share the show with anyone that you think will benefit from it. The links are in the description. Remember, let's be free, financially, healthily, mentally, spiritually, all 4 seasons as one free up season. Be great.
My mind been gone for a long time. Been busy out trying to get bread. Boy, putting in work for a long time. While I'm out back in here, I done reached my limit of the bullshit. Needed 40 acres in a cool whip. Get it? Smooth clap with a cool kick. Yeah, I do's this. Yeah, I rules this. Like cap ain't moving. Till the cap start moving. I ain't losing. Nah, better put some respect on my name. The remix is never the same. All this knowledge I'm giving you game. All this knowledge I'm giving you game. All this knowledge I'm giving you game. All this knowledge I'm giving you game.
Money, cash, goals. 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 Money, cash, goals.
Man, for real, no, man, 98, 99, 2000, man, we was on some money cash holes, really thinking that's what it's all about. And now we know in 2021, you gotta have goals and ready to accomplish them in a way that find out how to. We on money cash goals, man, for real, that's what we on.
Money, cash, goals, the only life that I know. Been told through multiple flows, creating multiple shows, multiple lives, the life that I live. Money is the cash on hand, cash be the bands, goals be the shit. Next level grit on the shit, get your piece of land. When you come through, and the sky is a sunroof, and the water is so blue. You and the wife in the sand doing 1-2. My life, yeah, I love you. Life's great, go play. We straight, on time, always early, never been late. Never diamonds, only jewels, strip gold. Money, cash, execute the goal.
Money, cash, goals. Money, cash, goals. Money, cash, cash goals.